Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep suddenly feels like a distant memory? If so, you're not alone. So many of us over 60 experience this, the mysterious middle-of-the-night wake-up call that leaves us tired the next day but unable to drift back to sleep. It's frustrating, isn't it? You go to bed at a reasonable hour, everything seems fine, and then, bam, your eyes snap open in the dead of night. But here's the thing. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just random bad luck. It's actually your body trying to tell you something. And once we understand why it's happening, we can start making small changes to help you sleep through the night, or at least fall back asleep easier when it does happen. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm just getting older. Isn't this normal? Sure, some changes in sleep are part of aging, but that doesn't mean you have to just accept restless nights as your new reality. Poor sleep affects everything: your energy, your mood, even your long-term health. So let's talk about what's really going on when you wake up at 3 a.m. and, more importantly, what you can do about it. First, let's talk about your internal clock, what doctors call your circadian rhythm. As we age, this rhythm shifts. You might notice you feel sleepier earlier in the evening, and that's completely normal. But here's the catch. If you go to bed too early, say at 8 or 9 p.m., your body might decide it's had enough rest by 3 or 4 a.m. Think of it like a battery. If you charge it too soon, it's going to run out of juice before morning. Now, that doesn't mean you should force yourself to stay up late if you're tired. Instead, try shifting your bedtime gradually. If you usually go to bed at 8 p.m. but wake up too early, try pushing it back by 15 minutes every few nights. Small adjustments can make a big difference in helping you sleep longer and wake up feeling refreshed. Another reason you might be waking up? Your body's hormone levels change as you get older, especially melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. Production of melatonin naturally decreases with age, which means your sleep might not be as deep or as restful as it once was. The good news is there are natural ways to support your melatonin levels. For example, getting sunlight in the morning helps reset your internal clock, and avoiding bright screens before bed can make a big difference. Even something as simple as dimming the lights in the evening can signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. And then there's the midnight trip to the bathroom. Oh, we've all been there. Waking up because you have to go can be a major sleep disruptor. But before you resign yourself to this nightly routine, let's talk about why it's happening. As we age, our bladder capacity changes, and certain medications or even drinking too much liquid before bed can make things worse. Try cutting off fluids about 2 hours before bedtime and limit caffeine and alcohol in the evening. They're sneaky culprits that can make you need to go more often. Now, here's something you might not expect. Stress and anxiety can also wake you up at 3 a.m. Maybe you're lying there, and suddenly your mind starts racing. Did I pay that bill? What was that ache I felt earlier? Why can't I just fall back asleep? That middle-of-the-night worry session is more common than you think. Your brain actually processes emotions differently during sleep, and sometimes unresolved stress bubbles up when you least expect it. So what can you do? Try keeping a notepad by your bed. If a thought is nagging at you, jot it down and tell yourself, I'll deal with this tomorrow. Sometimes, just getting it out of your head is enough to quiet your mind. And if you find yourself lying awake for more than 20 minutes, don't just stare at the clock. Get up, go to another room, and do something calming like reading. Just avoid bright screens. The goal is to break the cycle of frustration so your body can ease back into sleep. You know, one of the biggest surprises about aging is how much the little things start to matter, like what you eat, when you move your body, and even the temperature of your bedroom. All of these can play a role in whether you sleep soundly through the night or find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. So let's talk about some of these hidden factors and how you can tweak them to work in your favor. First up, food. What you eat in the evening can have a bigger impact on your sleep than you might realize. Heavy, rich meals right before bed can make your digestive system work overtime, leaving you uncomfortably full or even triggering acid reflux, which can wake you up. On the other hand, going to bed hungry can also keep you tossing and turning. The key is balance. A light snack with a mix of protein and carbs, like a small bowl of oatmeal with a spoonful of peanut butter or a banana with a few almonds, can help stabilize your blood sugar and keep you from waking up hungry in the middle of the night. And then there's caffeine. Now you might think, I only drink coffee in the morning, that shouldn't affect me at night. But here's the thing, caffeine can stay in your system for hours. Even if you don't feel jittery, it could still be subtly interfering with your ability to stay asleep. Try cutting off caffeine by early afternoon and see if that makes a difference. And don't forget, it's not just coffee. Tea, chocolate, and even some medications contain caffeine, so it's worth checking labels if you're sensitive to it. Now, let's talk about movement. You've probably heard that exercise helps you sleep better, and it's true, but when you exercise matters just as much as whether you do it. A brisk walk or some gentle stretching earlier in the day can help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. But if you exercise too close to bedtime, it can actually have the opposite effect, revving up your body when it should be winding down. Aim to finish any vigorous activity at least 3 hours before bed. That way, your body has time to cool down and relax into sleep. Another sneaky sleep disruptor? Your bedroom itself. As we age, we often become more sensitive to things like light, noise, and temperature. If your room is too warm, too cold, or too bright, your body might struggle to stay in deep sleep. Most experts recommend keeping your bedroom around 65 degrees, cool enough to help your core temperature drop, which is key for good sleep. And if streetlights or early morning sun creep in, consider blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Even small changes like these can make a big difference in how restful your night is. Oh, and let's not forget about pain. Aches and pains tend to show up more as we get older, and lying in one position for too long can make them flare up in the middle of the night. If joint stiffness or back pain is waking you up, try adjusting your sleep setup. A supportive pillow between your knees, if you're a side sleeper, or under your thighs, if you sleep on your back, can take pressure off your hips and spine. And if your mattress is older than a decade, it might be time for an upgrade. Your body will thank you. Now, here's something that surprises a lot of people. Medications can mess with your sleep, too. Some prescriptions, like certain blood pressure drugs, diuretics, or even over-the-counter allergy meds, can disrupt your sleep cycle or make you need to use the bathroom more often at night. If you've noticed your sleep problems started around the same time as a new medication, it's worth talking to your doctor. There might be alternatives or adjustments that can help. Finally, let's talk about the power of routine. Our brains love predictability, especially as we age. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, yes, even on weekends, helps reinforce your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. And a calming pre-bed ritual, like reading, listening to soft music, or doing a few minutes of gentle stretching, can signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. So now you've got a whole toolkit of things to try, adjusting your meals, timing your movement, optimizing your bedroom, and more. But there's still one more piece to this puzzle, and it's a big one, the emotional side of sleep. Things like loneliness, grief, or even just the stress of aging can creep into our nights in ways we don't always expect. So in the next part, let's talk about how to quiet those restless thoughts and create a nighttime routine that truly helps you rest. Because you deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, not frustrated. You know, there's something about the quiet of 3 a.m. that makes all those thoughts we've been pushing aside suddenly feel louder, isn't there? Maybe it's the memories that surface when the house is still, or the worries that seem bigger in the dark. And while we've talked about the physical reasons you might be waking up at this hour, the The truth is, our minds and hearts play just as big a role in our sleep as our bladders or joints do. Let's start with something simple but powerful: the stories we tell ourselves about sleep. If you've spent years saying, "I've always been a bad sleeper," or "This is just what happens when you get old," your brain starts to believe it. But here's the good news: you can rewrite that story. Instead of lying there thinking, "Why can't I sleep? What's wrong with me?" try shifting to, "My body knows how to rest. It's okay if I wake up for a bit. I can still get the sleep I need." That tiny change in perspective can ease the frustration that makes falling back asleep so hard. Now, about those racing thoughts. When you wake up in the night and your mind starts replaying conversations from 20 years ago or worrying about things you can't control, it's not just annoying. It's your nervous system stuck in overdrive. One of the most effective ways to calm it? Breathing. Not just any breathing, though. Try this. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. That longer exhale triggers your body's relaxation response. Do this a few times when you wake up, and you might be surprised how quickly it helps. And while we're on the subject of calming the mind, let's talk about daytime habits that affect nighttime stillness. If your days are full of noise, constant news, hurried conversations, or even just the mental clutter of a long to-do list, it's no wonder your brain struggles to quiet down at night. Try building in small moments of pause during the day. 5 minutes sitting with your tea just looking out the window, or a short walk where you notice the colors of the leaves. These little breaks train your nervous system that it's safe to slow down, making it easier to settle at night. Here's another nighttime game changer: the power of association. Your bed should be for sleep and maybe reading, not for watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or worrying. If you've been lying awake for more than 20 minutes, get up and sit in a chair with a soft light until you feel sleepy again. This helps retrain your brain to associate your bed with rest, not frustration. Now, I want to address something we don't talk about enough: loneliness at night. For many of us, nighttime used to mean sharing a bed or having someone to talk to when sleep wouldn't come. If that's changed, the quiet can feel extra heavy. There's no quick fix for this, but small comforts help: a warm, not hot, bath before bed, a weighted blanket that feels like a hug, or even leaving a quiet podcast on for company. The goal isn't to ignore the loneliness, but to meet yourself with kindness in those quiet hours. Finally, let's talk about acceptance. Some nights, sleep will come easily. Others, it won't. And that's okay. What matters most isn't perfection, but how you care for yourself through it all. If you have one bad night, don't spend the next day dreading bedtime. That only creates more stress. Instead, focus on what you can control: a nourishing meal, some gentle movement, and the reassurance that tonight is a new chance to rest. So here's what I want you to remember. Waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. And with patience and these small changes, you can find your way back to rest. You've spent decades caring for others. Now it's time to extend that same care to yourself, one night at a time. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. What helps you fall back asleep? Let's learn from each other. And if you found this helpful, consider sharing it with a friend who might be lying awake tonight too. Here's to your health, your rest, and the peace that comes from knowing you're not alone in this. Sweet dreams, my friend. Now that we've explored all the reasons you might be waking up at 3 a.m., from changing circadian rhythms to nighttime worries, let's create your personal action plan. Think of this like putting together pieces of a puzzle that's uniquely yours. Because here's the beautiful truth: while we all experience some sleep changes as we age, the solution isn't one size fits all. Start by keeping a simple sleep diary for just 3 days. Jot down what time you went to bed and woke up, how many times you woke during the night, what you ate or drank in the evening, any medications taken, your stress level before bed. Just rate it 1 to 5. This isn't about being perfect, it's about spotting patterns. You might notice that on days you had tea after dinner, you woke up more. Or when you skipped your afternoon walk, sleep was restless. These small clues help you identify what works best for your body. Now, let's build your ideal wind-down routine. Choose 2 to 3 of these options to try this week. A 10-minute gratitude review before bed, just mentally listing 3 good things from your day. A gentle leg stretches while sitting in your favorite chair. A listening to soft music or nature sounds as you get ready for bed. A writing down tomorrow's to-dos so they're not swirling in your mind. Remember when we talked about temperature? Here's a pro tip. Try warming your hands and feet before bed. It sounds backwards, but when your extremities are warm, it helps your core temperature drop, which is exactly what your body needs for sleep. A warm, not hot, foot bath or wearing cozy socks can work wonders. For those nights when you do wake up at 3 a.m., have a sleep rescue kit ready. A small notebook for jotting down thoughts. A dull reading light and a boring book, nothing too engaging. Some lavender-scented lotion or a calming herbal tea. Your breathing exercise reminder. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 6. The most important thing, be patient with yourself. Changing sleep patterns takes time. If something doesn't work after a few tries, that's okay. Just try a different approach. Your body isn't working against you, it's adapting with you. And please, don't underestimate the power of daylight. Even on cloudy days, getting outside for just 15 minutes in the morning helps reset your internal clock. Pair this with reducing bright lights in the evening, and you're giving your body clear signals about when it's time to be awake and when it's time to rest. If you've tried these strategies for a few weeks and still struggle, consider talking to your doctor about a sleep study. Sometimes issues like sleep apnea become more common as we age, and addressing them can make a world of difference. But for now, celebrate the small wins. Sleeping 30 minutes longer. Falling back asleep faster after waking. Feeling more rested in the morning. These are all victories worth recognizing. You've got this. And remember, every night is a new opportunity to rest well. Here's to waking up feeling refreshed and ready to enjoy your day. Now I'd love to hear, which strategy are you most excited to try first? Share in the comments below, and let's support each other in getting the rest we deserve. Sweet dreams!